just today I was made aware that Brockhampton will be disbanding, or at least they are on a permanent hiatus as of right now. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to kind of reflect on their bodies of work. For some reason, the white on this page looks incredibly washed out, but we're going to do our best to work with it. I'll be honest, I listened to Brockhampton quite a bit, but I kind of just got into a pretty unhealthy obsession of just listening to the songs I really liked. And I didn't listen to the first record particularly in depth. So I know there's a few songs that I really, really like. And some that I wanted to make sure that I took the time today, the day where they disbanded, to make sure that I had some thoughts on some of their work. I've been meaning to make a video when I get a little bit more time, explaining that the format of my channel is going to be changing moving forward. I don't want to talk too much about that, but there's going to be more ratings, reviews. I'm trying to start a new podcast that I will detail at a later time, or a time where I actually get up the gumption to go ahead and make that video. But this is going to be our first video 2022. I got another video cooking in the wings upcoming. Really would love to do that shortly. So anyway, let's with no more delay. So I remember I first caught wind of the boys from like many Anthony Fantano, and I didn't quite catch their vibe initially when he first started reviewing their first beginning tracks, stuff off of Satch 1, 2. And I think I think it was probably Gold was probably one of the first ones that he reviewed. And I love that song now, but there had to be something that caught my attention, and there are very few songs that are as catchy and hit as hard as Boogie. Boogie is probably my favorite rap song over the last 10 years or so. Admittedly, I don't necessarily listen to as much rap as other music. I would probably be more well versed in a lot of other genres, but Brockhampton really just caught fire for me, and this was the song that kind of did it. There isn't one bad bar in the song. The music is, I couldn't imagine having a song that has more hype instrumentation or samples. Boogie is really just a banger. And that's probably the song that I probably will go to the most. One thing that I'm probably also going to be having trouble with is I will know the songs based on if I heard them, but somehow I always have difficulty based on the name. So bear with me in that regard. But anyway, Gummy was another. I guess is that Satch 2? Satch 3 is that one. That's Satch 1. So that's Satch 2.
Goddamn right.
Thanks, Colin. But Gummy was another one that was a total banger. Maybe it would be prudent. Shit. It's kind of a real bummer that I can't actually listen to music while doing this, talking about music. So give me 1 second. Like I said, it's hard for me to associate names with the song. I have to always listen to the actual song here. So let's get Brockhampton up, and then Gummy, and I'll mute myself. Okay, so Amir goes hard on this song. Absolutely. It's kind of a shame that he, is not a very good person. But definitely that's another one that goes down in kind of the banger category, a different kind of way than Boogie. I think Boogie is a little bit more inspiring. This is kind of a more throwback one. But I do enjoy this song quite a bit. And once again, I'm kind of pulling back from memory. So I'm basically just listening to the same songs over and over again, and I'm not listening to their records. So, but I wanted to do this on the day that they broke up. So, let me just go back to the ones that I like the most. I'm gonna go No Halo as a 4. Reason being is I think it's a very good song, and I'm actually a pretty akin to liking their kind of like this is definitely poppy as opposed to some of the other stuff, but the stuff where they're more reflective, and I think this is one of those songs. But when you get a little bit too commercial, that's kind of a problem. But the song is a good song. It just would have been better if it wasn't, as liked by literally every person in the world. In terms of album cuts, this is probably like one of the deeper album cuts that is one of my favorite songs, Milk. I think I can't remember. I think it was on Reddit or something, and I read about this song in specific, and I never really paid it much attention. But when I went back to it, it's become one of my songs that I've listened to absolutely the most. And there's some songs on here that I always think about revisiting or reassessing, and that's one of them for sure. I'm going to actually go here and put Sugar right next to No Halo. I guess I should have said at the beginning that this is 100% my subjective view on this. I don't know how you'd have an objective view. You can only do what you believe, right? But somebody's going to disagree with me pretty fervently. But I have quite a few songs that other people wouldn't think are as good. This is another one. Sorry for going out of order, that I like quite a bit. Hottie. I remember, so I saw Brockhampton in Atlanta twice, and I was not aware of this song. It is one of the only songs that they performed that I was not necessarily familiar with, but it went hard in concert. And I was disappointed because they didn't necessarily. I was a pretty big Iridescence fan, and I think this was at the following tour. And they didn't play a lot of stuff from Iridescence at that point. I Do Live, Welcome Pettis. But they were playing this song. I believe, I was going to say, is this off Saturation 2? But it's got to be 3, based upon the background. Pettis, once I get done with this, if you and, I know, Rob or Ricky want to play 2K, I'm definitely down for that. I just like broke the fourth wall to say that. But want to get some out of the way that I don't really... I do not like Victor Roberts. I get the story. The story is fine, but when you're making... And I remember watching a video, and Dom said that whenever you have a platform, you got to pass the mic and make sure that your homies are... okay, that sounds good, Pez. Your homies are taken care of, and that you give them a stage to make sure they are able to talk about the things that mean things to them. And I really appreciate that, but I don't appreciate you putting someone else's song on your record when you could have just done more music that I liked. And I really don't think that the song was all that good, to be honest. No disrespect. This is just going to be this one record on this line, I guess, but Love Me for Life is a song that I like quite a bit. Joba's verse on this song is really good. I think this is probably, it's right before Roadrunner came out, so this is a record before his dad died, but he was still in the shit, man. He was still feeling it. That's another slow burn one that really just hits. Is he the one that Joba says, watch your back? He breaks your neck so you can watch your back. I'm so bad with the song names. It's really kind of pathetic. Gold, probably one of the most iconic choruses in their entire discography. Keep a gold chain around my neck, fly as a jet. Boy, better treat me with respect. That shit goes hard. I think this is like a point where they would really... I guess this is Satch 1, but it feels like this is when they were really trying to gain momentum. And after I had really caught on with Boogie, I had to go back and hit these songs and kind of get myself reacquainted. Um, and for sure, it is one of their better songs. God, I'm looking at all these. I gotta try to remember all of them. Okay, how about some of the Iridescence ones? I'm gonna put Tanya and Wait on 4. It's so hard to kind of put a song like Boogie or like Gummy and put them next to Tanya and Wait, because I think there's very good songs, but they're just such a different vibe in terms of content. Tanya, I played that on repeat for a long time. They had a live performance with it, where they had like Serpent with Feet and somebody else on it, and also kind of like they had like a black woman background singer that was just absolutely fucking incredible on that live version. And then Merlin, when he does his verse on that song, that shit just hit different too when it was live. Wait, I think it's another great song. This was kind of that point where it was a very meta look at their discography, I think, where they're looking at their lives and how their lives changed after dropping 3 records in 1 year, and getting commercial success. Even though I just saw that NPR put an article up on Facebook, or I guess on the internet, and it was posted on Facebook, and there are a bunch of 40-something white guys who said, "Wow, I'm really missing out because I don't know who they are." And, yeah, but Kevin really talking about his early life and kind of coming to terms with his sexuality in that one, which is pretty much I think he explores it quite a bit throughout their discography, but this particular one is a little bit poignant. Face might be one that I have to listen to. And then I haven't listened to these non-album cuts in a hot minute, and I've heard different versions of them. Sometimes it's really hard because they have all these like leak versions and stuff, or they get changed when they go to like Apple Music or whatever. Let's see what we want to do. Actually, we could do where's Summer? I know it's here somewhere. In the heat of the summer. There it is. This is a really good song, especially in concert. Is it? I want to say it's Bareface who has the vocals on that, and Bareface, kind of a slept-on member. I think that he adds a really cool dynamic. Also plays an instrument, which is something they probably really needed. It's pretty amazing that they're able to get a bunch of guys together who basically just really like Kanye West, and then they made their own band or group, and then they dropped 8 records in 8 years or something fucking crazy. And it's kind of cool too because they dropped 3 records in 1 year. But yeah, that's a good track. Bump. I want to put Bump at 3. I don't think it's one of the ones that I necessarily like am grabbing for or thinking about constantly or wanting to listen to, but it's definitely good. And it's definitely one that you can vibe to because it has a good chorus, but I don't think it's necessarily it's not a super banger, but it has banger qualities. So it could be here if it was just like those bangers just hit a little bit harder. And then I think all of these are kind of feely songs that aren't quite bangers, so you put them in 4. I think I'm going to put the ones that I'm not necessarily popping with right away into 2, just because it's just going to make it quick, and I don't necessarily have to have like a fucking 40-minute video listening to every song. So I think Heat is another one that I believe is a song I think it is kind of in that banger category, but I'm just not familiar with it. So I'll just go ahead and throw that there. San Marcos was a song I liked quite a bit. Maybe it's more simple if I just look up the lyrics to these songs. When I look at my phone, don't talk about my forehead, Pettis. I'm fucking playing with that shit. San Marcos lyrics. I want more out of life. Yeah, that goes here. When it that kind of outro music, and once another one, just like Summer when they played it in concert, it definitely was very group participation-y. And it was a song that I always connected with. I really liked Iridescence, but not many other people did. What can you do? You know, but it was a good record, and that one really, that particular song was really good. Ooh, this song. This song hits different. It's once again on this kind of like plane of just kind of when the boys were in their feels. But big boy, you're a big boy now. I don't know. I like when I listen to that particular song. I just feel like I resonate with it, especially for a person who's trying to their best to not be grown, I guess, or at least on the surface. You know. But it's so hard to give a proper actual review of each song when you know you only got a limited amount of time, and I hope people can forgive me for not being too in depth. But like I said, I listen. It's hard to remember every single song when they have such. Some of them are so vaguely named. Stars are pretty good when they're once again off Satch 1. I think this was another one of those songs that came out and didn't click with me first. The boys just didn't click with me at first. It took some time, and it took a banger like Boogie that was undeniable for me. And I always thought that Saturation 3 or 1 were my favorite records. It looks like 1 is kind of stacking up to be that one. Although I think Iridescence is kind of underrated. I kind of realized that Roadrunner wasn't in this list. There's quite a few songs that I liked off of Roadrunner. If You Pray Right also has to be in the 1-star category because it's kind of in the same Victor Roberts realm where it's not really their song, right? If I'm remembering correctly. My brain not working, so. Swim is a low-key 4-star. I think it kind of flies under the radar, but it's a really good song. And I feel like it's when someone says it's if you have a low-key favorite song, that one always pops up all the time. I remember seeing a SpongeBob meme. It's like when that sound hits on Swim and it has SpongeBob elevating like he's he's God. It definitely hits that way. Bleach is kind of another one of those really good. I'm not properly prepared for this, but I'm trying my best. But it's just another one of those songs that is vocally led and has kind of a call and response when you're watching it in concert. Although if you ever hear me singing that high pitched vocal line in one of my videos that I took at the concert, you will be very disappointed. So New Orleans, I think that's probably, I'm gonna go in 3 because it's definitely a banger, but it's not quite to this level. Vivid. I don't think I've listened to Vivid in a hot minute. Let me see here. Vivid, Brockhampton. Como se dice? That's going to go in 2. I like the song a lot, but it's just kind of a deep album cut. I can't even, I know these are all the year ones, right? Pretty sure I'm maniacal. But if I'm sticking with the theme, this probably lands here, but I'm going to go up one more because when Kevin tells you to put your hands above your head like a roller coaster, it's just hitting. This is one of these, a good banger. This one really gets people riled up at the shows and beating the shit out of each other, which I think everyone can appreciate. Where the Cash At, just kind of an okay album cut for me. Merlin definitely really featured on that one. If you're a Merlin guy, Um, I always have an internal struggle with who's my favorite. Kevin is too easy of an answer, but I always feel like each guy brings something a little bit different. Even Amir had his kind of raw delivery. Dom has kind of the heart, and I've at times thought I was a Dom guy, and then I felt like I was sleeping on Matt, and then Matt came out with some fire bars in some of their songs. Um, and I'm probably between Matt or Dom as my favorite members. Merlin, I feel like he did on Tanya. Tanya have kind of a more heartfelt delivery, but I feel like he's always the one that just brings the energy. I don't know how. I don't know if his lyricism is always on point, where like Dom and Matt's really is, but he brings like mad energy. And there's something to be said about that. Sweet is the best song off of, I believe it's Satch 2. It's kind of amazing how not prepared I am for this, but I believe it's Satch 2. Berlin lyrics. I know I liked the song back in the day. That is not the song I was looking for. Baby boy, why you looking grimy as shit? Mm-hmm. That probably fits in this category, just like kind of like an album cut banger. These three songs are definitely the best on the album, in my opinion. These two could like level up here, but it just didn't resonate with me that way. In terms of like this song, and this song, when I heard them on the record sequentially, like I really liked listening to them, but never really went back as singles or as just under their own merits and listened to them. Dearly Departed, I'm gonna put 2. I think it was very kind of like a lethargic thing for them to be able to kind of reflect on their time with Amir in the group and the kind of beef they had with him, especially specifically Dom. Once again, I saw a video with them, and at the end, he makes a mic drop, like sounds like he breaks the damn thing. And I think he believed he did, but when he did his cut, he did it the first time. It was very like emotional. So that whole record was, basically that feeling for them. So I appreciate it in regards for that, but in terms of just like a single, I would never want to listen to it just on its own. So it's kind of, and it's not a banger. It's just an okay song, but it was something they needed. District is okay. I think I'm gonna put it here. Some interesting instrumentation or sampling on that particular cut. Once again, not really. I don't really go back to it or anything like that. Thug Life, pretty interesting. Just a pretty interesting song. I think that it's probably just in the middle tier. You would never put it up with any of these songs up here for sure. Are there any ones that are really good that I have left? There's so many that Face, Brockhampton. I remember Face particularly liking that song. Actually, Face I'm going to put at 4. Amir's verse is really good. I say that one to myself all the time when it comes on, but it is because of its name, one of the ones that kind of drops out of the brain quite a bit. Let's kind of run the 1997 Truman. I can't even see which one's which. This one's Truman. Superficial people from my past. I think that's a 3. I liked all of these, but there was definitely one that stood above the rest. Was it 1998 Wildfire? I listened to these songs so much when they came out, and it's just, my brain is no good. I think this one, which of course I can't remember. Is it another president's name? Well, we're gonna have to come back to that. Brockhampton lyrics. I believe I like Queer, right? Skinny boy, where your muscles at? Used to go to church 8 hours, get a bus back. It's probably just 3. We've gotten to a point where I don't necessarily have. I'm gonna put. I've listened to the songs before, but any of the ones that I really didn't give that much time, I don't think it's very pertinent to be ranking them, right? At least at this point, it just wouldn't do it any purpose. Going top down, but I listen to Rental a lot, but I just can't remember it. Ginger, honey, Jello. Oh, boy, I can go here. It's just a whatever. Junkie. I don't know if it. I'd be born again. I'm just looking at these, and I don't even know if there's a point to rank them. In terms of, maybe I'll do the iridescence ones here, but I don't want to do any of these album cuts that I don't really remember, and then we can kind of just look at it like this and talk about it that way.
You're goddamn
you think
right.
that stupid Google would remember? I could have been homeless. Another album cut. Thank you, Michael. Let's put that here. So which ones do I want to do here? For sure. Fabric. I'm getting too caught up into Googling too and not getting any analysis, which is pretty sad, but you don't understand why I can't get up and shout. I can't remember this song at all. So, that was Fabric. Let's put tape there, fine. I like Ginger a bit. Can't remember anything right now. This analysis went to shit. It's fine. I could do the rest. But I guess in terms of what I was doing here today is I just wanted to get something out to kind of have a retrospective with the boys. I don't even have the last record in this tier list. I saw some that had Kevin's stuff, solo stuff. I know Amir has solo stuff, but they didn't, for some reason, put that on there. I thought Amir's solo stuff lacked a little bit of. I think it was suffering from not having a lot of that kind of multifaceted talents of everybody in the group. And I think that the sum is much better than parts in terms of everything they've been giving so far. I wonder what some of these guys will sound like when they put out other music. But one of the good things is, obviously, there will be a lot more music because I'll be having to put it out individually. So there's a lot of people who will be doing that. I kind of wonder how the Rommels and the other kind of producers behind the scenes, where they go, because they had a relatively impactful run, despite what some. Also, that was a tier 3, Michael. Thanks. They had a relatively impactful run, and I mean, just a pure volume of music. I don't know how long they were sitting on some of this stuff, but it's pretty impressive what they were able to do in just a short amount of time. And a lot of banger songs I listen to all the time, but some I don't remember, thoroughly. I tried to rush myself into doing this. That was a little bit of a mistake. But if there's any of these songs that I slept on, I slept on the first record hard. And I really regret not being able to remember some of these off the top of my head. But if there are songs that you think are particularly good, or that I'm sleeping on, or that I should have spent more time on, or that I should remember, I think Heat will probably be one of those, to be honest. Can't remember what this one is called. There's Wildfire, there's Truman, and there's... I liked one of them a lot. I don't know, it's going to bother the shit out of me. But obviously, there's going to be a lot of people that are really big Brockhampton fans. There's just so much music out there that is always coming out that it's hard to keep on top of all of it. Kudos to you if you can, or if you, you know, or you're just obsessed with the boys. Then this is a pretty sad day. But I think that's going to probably wrap it for the video. I'm going to get this up. I want to make sure to start branding my stuff and putting it on the YouTube videos a little bit better. I'll come out with my video saying kind of the future of the channel in the near future. But this will be out, and people will probably be searching for stuff like this. They're going to be particularly disappointed about how stupid and unequipped I was to do this. But tell me what you agree with. Tell me what you disagree with. Tell me if there's something that I'm sleeping on. Other than that, I hope you're looking forward to seeing some more stuff in the future, because we will be having a lot more rankings, quizzes, podcast stuff that I want to get into for sure. And I'll kind of get a video that will be outlining exactly what I'm doing in that respect. Thanks for everybody who subbed or that watched. It was a quick 30-minute-er, and I'm hoping to kind of keep it in that format for the near future, and kind of being absent of actual gameplay, and kind of just turning over a new leaf in 2022. I'll also probably be listing some of my other things that I'm doing in the YouTube description box as well, that you might be able to check out if you're so inclined. Thanks again, guys.